Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Commons. My name is Enyo Suji, and to my right,
LD the Mola, House of Commons.
to my left,
Ike Onoha, House of Commons.
Pascal Atoma, House of Commons.
House of Commons.
House of Commons.
Ademar.
Ademar. Anna Kiko. Hey.
So, oftentimes, when I meet women and date women or talk to women, they kind of, there's a certain way I get treated because I consider myself to be a nice guy at times. So,
Jesus Christ.
I know. So I know I'm an idiot, but
No, you're a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy equals idiot. Which brings up the discussion because we talk about this dynamic between good guys with girls and bad guys with girls and what girls prefer. So the topic today is, do girls like bad boys?
Do good girls like bad boys?
Do good girls like bad boys? Or do girls in general like bad boys?
Yeah.
Why do good girls like that?
Why do they like bad boys?
I don't think it's a question. I'm willing to start and say it as a statement. Good girls like bad boys. Period.
Why do you think they like
I think they have the right.
They have the absolute right. And I'm going to say this.
Okay.
First and foremost, the description of bad boys is the reason why I'm not going to go too deep into our society right now, but the description of a bad boy, I think, is there's a negative connotation that should be taken away from the concept of a bad boy. I think when kids are growing up and they say boys will be boys, when there's a kid on the playground and he's always wrestling with his friends and he's always aggressive, that is the natural state of a male, right? That's what a male is, period. And when you grow up in society, especially these days, it seems like we are kind of softened to believe that you have to be, you have to do everything the right way.
Can I bring something in context before you guys go?
Right.
Okay. When we talk about bad boys, right? This is American pop culture 1980s reference I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna have to give you a little background. In this movie called The Breakfast Club, the bad guy in the movie, the rebel in the movie, was the one that got the good girl at the end of the movie, right? So when I say bad guy, I don't necessarily mean the guy that's dogging every female. I'm just talking about the bad guy.
Yeah, the guy.
So I want to make sure that you guys are
is that the same thing as
same
saying,
playing field?
Is that the same thing as saying Boomerang, the movie, the role of Eddie Murphy? That's a bad boy in that line.
It could be considered a bad boy, but I think when I think of bad, maybe because coming from the nice guy syndrome, when I think of bad boy, I think of literally bad boy that does not care.
Okay, definitely. I guess let me kind of open up more of this topic.
Okay.
Good girls, bad boys.
Okay.
Now, is this just the same if you reverse this thing? Is why do guys love a lady on the street and a freak in the bed?
No.
That's the same thing.
No. Because the lady in the street doesn't
I love a
bad
lady
girl.
in the street and a freak in the bed.
That's a whole different thing, though.
Yeah.
Because on the street, is she a bad girl? Is she a
No.
rebel?
But some guys like girls that are queens
Let's
at
not
home.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. Let's not stray too far away.
Okay, yeah. I'm just giving you a different spin to it. Like most girls like a guy that will give them a run for their money.
Yes, and
Because no, I mean if you're like I don't want to use the word soft. If you're like a yes kind of guy,
Oh, yes,
it's not interesting to a female.
done.
You want to put a female
You are
on
done.
her heels, so she's suspect of what is this man doing. You're more interesting to her. That's what my take.
Okay. My take, right? Let me ask you guys a question. I'm trying to say my
You're saying it like your take is totally different from mine.
No,
my take.
it's my take, right? Let me ask you guys a good question.
Okay.
Honestly, no jokes. Do you consider me a good guy or a bad guy?
I consider you a
Oh my
completely bad guy. Bad guy.
Why?
Look at this guy.
No,
Notice how we,
Expatiate.
express, and then he says, "My take."
That makes it
Evil.
you know what I'm asking the question. You know what I'm asking the question, right?
Bad guy.
I consider me a good guy.
Yes, because you know yourself.
Okay, you see, this is what I'm asking the question is, we need to define who is a bad guy.
Okay, let me.
But am I making sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I define,
That's why I try to say that in
I
the beginning.
define who's a good girl.
Okay.
for me, a bad guy is not a noisemaker. A bad guy is like Obama. That's my own bad guy. A bad guy is like Jay-Z. A bad guy is like Kanye West. Do you know what I'm saying? A bad, dangerous motherfucker to me is like Michael Jordan. Those are my own kind of bad guys.
Okay, can I say something?
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a bad guy to someone else might mean something else to someone else.
Well, I think Pascal, you just summed the whole thing. That is actually what we mean by a bad guy. A bad guy is somebody that's handling business,
But it's deadly.
but it can stand his own, can stand his own in public or anywhere.
Okay, so
Let me say.
I'm asking you guys to
Now there's a difference.
What is a bad guy to you? What is
To
a bad
us,
guy?
right?
Oh, yes.
We're thinking of it as men. A bad boy is basically a dude with an ego. You stand your ground and you have your spine, and it does not matter what society says. You know what you're good at heart, right? But you have an arm's length at things that you're not.
Can I
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
A bad guy in the eyes of a girl's parents saying, "Watch out for that bad boy." It's totally different.
Yeah.
That's a bad boy who can ruin your life. So are we talking about good girls like those kind of bad boys, or do good girls like bad boys who are like, "Look, I don't care what about my surroundings. I'm gonna do things as they work for me."
Can I say something?
Yeah, right.
I think they like both. I think they like guys. I think they adore both.
Yes.
men.
I'll give you
They
a-
like
I'll give you
men.
example.
They like men that are tough, and they like men that are like I don't get.
Okay,
that are,
I'll give you example like a good guy liking a bad girl, and a good guy like the Prince Charles, who married Princess Diana. Diana is a bad chick. Prince Charles is a good guy. You see what I'm saying? That's a good guy liking a bad girl. If Princess Diana was married to another bad motherfucker like the one, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a different business. Forget my English today. I don't know why I keep using that whole language.
What is okay, so
It's okay.
It's
Don't worry. That's what bad boys use.
Okay. So I give you an example, right? I have a lady friend of mine who has a PhD in finance. It's a big girl, serious big chick, right? I know what she likes, but the people that she hang out with, I know that's not what she wants, but that's what she's settling for. But she actually, this is a very professional chick, but she actually like bad boys.
There's something that you said that's really important because it goes back to what I said at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Society has painted this picture that ego is bad, pride is bad. I say this all the time. Hold on.
One last what you're missing. Confidence is bad.
Exactly. They've painted this picture that a man's opinion is always demeaning, right? Hold up, let's start. But as I've grown older, right, when I was younger, our society taught us, they taught girls, be confident, you can do anything a man can do. They taught us, be humble and do things that favor women. That's basically what it was. So a young guy would think, just kill that up. A young guy would think, if I do the Disney romantic thing, these girls are gonna love me, I'm gonna get a girl. And then you grow up and you realize a girl actually wants a guy who's gonna challenge her and keep her on her toes forever. That's you being a man, you having your ego. Of course, be kind and be loving, but always know your ground and understand what you stand for. As a bad boy, women want somebody who is that.
Right, so I guess we've made it clear on this segment of this show what a bad boy is. We don't mean somebody that is slinging dope or selling weed or always in jail or always running traffic, has a lot of no, that's not what we mean, right?
I guess our category
has to do with someone that has a confidence, has a swagger, and swagger, confidence is not to be mistaken for arrogance. So that's what we mean.
Okay, so let's check the fact that we're all bad boys right now.
So I guess no, he said he's not a bad boy.
I'm the baddest guy.
I'm a bad boy.
I'm the baddest boy.
I'm a BAD.
Me, I'm a good guy, yo. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a very good
My friend, get out.
No, but in all seriousness,
So let me define good girl. A good girl to me is like Chelsea Clinton.
Chelsea Clinton?
Yeah, that's a good girl. Yes.
that's a good girl. That's a bad girl, though.
Yes. But,
That's a bad girl.
But for me,
I feel you, though. I feel you.
Yeah, so
No, I'm trying to.
you're trying to.
Can I say what you? Can I say what I think you mean?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
A good girl is the one that,
Yeah, that's a good girl.
a good girl is the one that, you know, if I do the Disney romantic thing, these girls are gonna love me. I'm gonna get a girl. And then you grow up and you realize, a guy actually wants a guy who's gonna challenge her and keep her on her toes forever. You know, that's you being a man, you having your ego. Of course, be kind and be loving, but always know your ground and understand what you stand for. As a bad boy, women want somebody who is that. the bad boy gives all the codes. She knows
The one that
all
can
the
make
codes.
the one that can make the bad boy respect
Good.
her.
Yeah.
That's a good girl.
That's a good bad girl. That's a
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
girl. That's a bad girl.
If that's your definition, then I think Kim Kardashian is a good girl.
Okay, no.
She's very submissive.
Hold on, let me explain why I said Chelsea Clinton is. And before we go forward, don't mention Chelsea Clinton and Kim Kardashian. They're not on the same level. Please, boss.
On the same level of what?
Oh, you said Chelsea Clinton.
Chelsea Clinton or Hillary Clinton?
No, Chelsea Clinton.
The daughter of
what?
The daughter
Oh, okay.
and Kim Kardashian.
I
They're not on the
thought-
same level. You can't mention those two people. They're not on the same level. You can't actually mentioning two of them is like mentioning.
You talk about social standings or status or what?
In life, bro.
No, that's a big topic for conversation right there.
Let me tell you something. You cannot mention a Chelsea Clinton and a Kim Kardashian in the same sentence. Those are
Why not though?
Okay,
Why not?
No, you're going in an avenue that a lot of people are not even gonna understand.
They won't understand.
Yeah.
Break it down. Why not?
Let me
Calm
leave
it down.
it
Yeah,
there.
just let it
Let me
go.
let it go.
You're going a little.
understand.
You're going a little
I don't understand.
somewhere.
Look, let me tell something.
Hold on. Let me finish
Yeah.
my point, bro. Why I call Chelsea Clinton a good girl? Born by Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, raised in the White House, protected, right? So if the society expects for her to be this clean girl, so if a Chelsea Clinton decides to like someone like
Kanye West.
Kanye West tomorrow, right? It will be a different ball game from a Kanye West liking a Kim Kardashian. A Kanye West liking a Kim Kardashian, the society might accept it. It's normal. That's fine. They can, two of them are useless. Let them
If Kanye West, let's say Kanye West
but
and
if
Chelsea
Clinton, if Chelsea likes Kanye, people will not say, "Ooh, this good girl, I like this bad bad guy." You see, so that's my own good girl and bad girl. So I want to use those two things to explain.
okay.
Bad guy,
Thank you for explaining. Thank you for explaining. I mean, in your explanation,
You understand my?
I understand what you're saying.
That actually is a perfect.
But also,
Yes.
also in my own argument, I don't condone everything Kim Kardashian does, but all I'm gonna say is that it's a different dispensation in the sense that you had mentioned Prince Charles in this conversation, in this and Diana, right?
Princess Diana, yes.
And Princess Diana. Do you know Prince Harry is a very good friend of Kanye West? Invited Kanye West to his wedding. Do you know that? Did Chelsea Clinton get an invitation from this?
Okay,
prince?
you're-
No.
you guys are
I'm
talking
trying.
things.
We are in a little bit. It's a little bit different, but it's the same.
Don't even-
But it's the same in the sense that look, just the whatever Chelsea Clinton is doing is fine. It was working for her. But what other people, my bad boy West is doing is also working for him. He can
Understood.
enter any door Chelsea can enter.
No, that's not true. That's not true. But let's not go into that.
That's why.
Let's not go into
That's
that.
why.
Which door can Kanye West
See,
can Chelsea
Let's not.
He has entered the Queen's Palace. The Queen's Palace.
Let me explain something to Ike.
Right.
So let me explain something to Ike. Ike, if you go to Abia State, where I come from, there's doors I can enter. Name a show business guy in Abia that came from no family, with no family background, and became successful. Name one person.
I don't know.
You're my friend, so I don't want to.
Okay, let's not-
You know where I'm trying to go. You know where I'm trying to go to.
Let's not
You know where I'm trying to go to. No matter how much money some people have in Abia, there's some doors that I can walk into.
You will never.
But that's totally different from
Easy saying.
No.
Chief, let's not go from the
I'm
topic.
not walking into that
We are
door.
going
I'm not
away
walking
from
into
the
that door.
topic.
I'm not walking into that door
It's
because
totally
of my
different.
achievements.
We are.
I'm walking
Okay.
into that door because of
Wait. Let me just meet you real quick. Okay. We're talking about bad boys and then
good girls like bad boys.
Good girls liking bad boys. Okay. So, let's go back to why that is significant.
Okay.
I have
Let me
to
say
listen
something.
to
Let me say
this.
something.
So let's
To
go
back
back.
up
Okay.
what he said, right?
Okay.
He gave a perspective of this girl comes from a cocoon of protection from the outside.
Yeah.
That is what a good girl is, right? She's not exposed yet. So when he mentioned Chelsea Clinton, he's basically saying she's been raised in that cocoon of you're not gonna see the mess,
Yes.
right? So he's not comparing her fame to.
No,
that's not what he's
no,
doing.
we're not
So
comparing
us
fame.
having that argument is not,
Not
but
about fame.
here's what I'm gonna say, right? When you look at a bad boy, right? Majority of the time, when you look at the family structure of the cliche bad boy, the family structure is not really there. That's one. Number
So
two,
you say George Bush was a bad boy.
George Bush is a bad boy.
Yes.
That's a bad boy because
Yeah, he was messing
his
with
money talks before he does. That's a whole nother thing. But the thing that I want to say,
different level of
that's a
badness.
different level of badness.
Badness.
That's
That's
gone.
that's transferred back.
That's no matter what you do, you're never gonna get in trouble bad.
Right.
So you can do everything, right? So that's a whole nother level. But to get back to what we were talking about, the reason why this is a relevant conversation is because the concept of a guy and a girl, right? A good girl liking a bad boy or a bad boy liking a bad girl. First and foremost, it's just basically a balance. It is. There's got to be opposites attract.
Opposites attract.
Basic.
That's just the
Right?
main key.
That's the main key.
Opposites attract.
But I think the reason why it's important for us to be talking about good girls liking bad boys is because I think men stray too far away from being men,
Being who they are.
being who they are, because we've
Naturally.
been told, if you're in a playground and a girl comes and you pour sand on her, oh, stop that, right? Even though,
Yeah, you
of
have to
course,
be nice.
exactly.
Go to instead go
Exactly.
get a flower.
Exactly.
Can I
But
ask
when you
you-
grow older, you realize, right? A woman does not want a guy she can run around. She
Yeah.
wants a guy who stands
That's
firm.
the point of a bad boy.
Can I
Bad boy.
Can I
Yes.
piggyback on you real quick? Can I piggyback on you?
Yeah.
Like you said, you basically said what I'm getting ready to say, but when we're growing up, they told us, we kind of, as we started growing up, even when we got to our teens and even the early 20s, you have to accommodate the woman. And even in our workforce, we don't even realize it. When you, I'm sorry, when you be on the phone talking to maybe one of your friends, you're like, one day, I just, I'm busy doing that stuff. And then somebody will call you on another line, you change the line. Hello, thank you for calling this. And your voice, everything will now
It's like
change.
emasculation.
So when a woman sees a man that's a man, a real man, I don't care what nobody says, a man that has bass in his voice, that projects this whatever stereotypical things you see as a man, she's like, wow, that's a man. That's what I want. And now it's turned into the bad boy. Low key,
Exactly.
a little bit.
Can I
That is the bad boy now.
Can I come in? I have very serious things I can use to explain why the good girls like bad boys. Good boys are people. I have a lot of friends who are good boys. They've gone to school, they're studying medicine. Everything is done according to even
Proper, they're very proper.
Yeah, even time to kiss is scheduled.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
He said yeah.
But you said you're a good boy.
Hold on.
He said
Yeah, but you're like that too.
Did you say time to kiss is scheduled?
So scheduled, yeah. Time
Cheers,
to-
bro. That one was heavy, bro. Come on.
Hold on, I'm coming. Time to kiss is on schedule. You know, time for romance is on schedule and all that kind of stuff. This girl have gone to the bank. This good girl, she's gone to the bank. She's a bank manager. She's worked in the bank all day. She's stressed out. She come home. She needs a guy that will take her from the door, slap her on the back, give her wine, drink this, and girl get it back. And then, but
Which one is boom?
No, let him finish. It's important, please.
And then, instead of having that roughneck professional in the house, then you have this good boy that have his PhD in medicine or PhD in what aeronautic engineering, and you come back, oh honey, hi, how are you? Honey, oh, how was it?
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, you already had enough of that office.
Now, okay.
And then you want her to like this guy? No.
we're not condemning.
No,
we're not condemning those
down.
guys.
We're not condemning those guys.
We're not. Yeah.
Well, no, among those guys, there's some
Bad boys.
Bad boys.
They're
Bad boys.
because I know a couple of my friends. So the good girls want someone to take them away from that.
Can I ask a question to everybody? I want to ask. I want to ask a question to everybody.
Go ahead.
The
When
good
you're
girls
done.
want someone. They have done the goodness in the office. They have done the goodness in front of their parents. They have done the goodness in front of society. So now they want this guy that will take them away from that zone and take them to a different zone.
That's true.
That's what I said
If they end up with the same kind of guy,
Do you think that's why they?
That's
Should I go there?
Yeah.
That's what
yes, go
Should
there.
I go there?
Go
Do
there.
you think that is why? I know we don't. Well, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why a lot of these women are silently getting away from the good boy at home and doing things with bad boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me answer that question. Okay, I'll use myself as an example.
Realistically. Oh, you're a bad
Now
boy.
the bad boy is coming.
I'm a bad boy.
Oh my God!
That's cool.
How long have we been
Okay,
talking?
confess.
He's
Confess
gone from
yourself.
0 to
Confess
100
yourself.
real quick.
Let me be
Real
real.
quick.
Let me be real with you.
So the day you went to her house,
I've dated only professional girls.
huh?
Yes.
Of course.
I've dated only professional chicks, medical doctors, engineers, lawyers, PhD holders.
My friend, what about that Mbeke you did it last week?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
God forbid evil.
Oh, please thank God for being able.
So, okay. So, among all these girls I've dated, right? These are some very good girls. So sometimes I ask myself, what are they doing with that? That's what
But that's what
but I'm real with you. Not to be arrogant, right? Every one of them that I've dated, I know they all love me. And I know they will still love me till they will die.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Now, but there are some good guys they would have given that time they gave me, right? That would have made them wives,
Queen.
Easy.
made them queens. But
Easily, yeah.
for me, my brother, sorry.
You don't give a
I'll give it. I'll give it. I don't give it.
I want to ask you guys.
So you're a real bad boy.
I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy, but in my own way. You know what I'm saying?
This is-
So that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I want to ask all of you guys. Do you think in this world, to really survive and really deal with women, do you think you need to be a bad boy, even if you're a good guy? You think you need to be a bad boy inside of you? You need to be a bad boy.
Let me say this.
Do you need to be a bad boy?
Let's all
One by one.
Let's all answer.
Let's go this way.
And I'm gonna say this very confidently, right?
Please don't forget your own people.
I'm a simp. When I love a girl,
You're
I
what?
love a simp.
The same.
It's the
Proud
opposite of a pimp.
Is a guy who, if I fall in love with the girl, right? If I fall in love with the girl,
Right.
I will give her my all. It does not matter what. I will give her everything. I bow in her presence. But, right? There are certain things she will never have access to, right? Because I personally think you always have to keep people in general. You have to keep them away from certain
Arm's
things,
length.
right? I do not mind. I don't care how much I love this girl, right? There's gonna be an arm's length to certain information that she will never know
About yourself?
because not it's not immature stuff. It is. I don't care how much I love a girl, right? If this needs to happen, it's gonna happen. She's gonna have to understand as a man, this is what I need to do. There are girls, right, that can be looked at as a bad boy because I'm not submitting all the way.
Yeah.
But no matter how much I love a girl, right, I'm always gonna have my say for what I need to do.
Yeah.
Even if it's just 1% of my time.
Yeah.
There are people who believe love is when you fall in love with this girl, you have to give her everything.
You have to change
I'm
your
sorry,
ways.
to me,
cut off
it is
all
not
your
happening.
friends and stuff. Is that what like?
That's basically what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, answer your question again.
Do you need to be, even if you're a good guy at heart? So a lot of us are good guys, right?
You need to be.
I think all of us are good guys at heart, but we have to be. I feel, and the reason why I'm asking this question is I feel like we have to be a bad guy to survive in this
let me
world.
answer now.
Okay,
Let
you
me
answer, then
now.
I'll go. Yeah.
Bad boys are born to be bad. You don't learn to be bad. Do you understand what you understand?
You
what
think
it
so?
is?
You think so?
You cannot
You're not socialized to be bad?
Bros, you can't learn to be bad.
I'm gonna rebuttal you after he goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
bros, you're either born with it or you're not born with it. No matter how much you learn, if you're trying to learn to become a bad boy, right? It's gonna be fake bad boy.
Well, I beg to disagree.
Okay.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Badness, what people see as badness sometimes is charisma.
Interesting.
Yeah. And what is charisma?
Well, that's your bad. That's your badness.
That's your version. Go
Hold on.
ahead. Yeah.
What a lot of people see as badness that attract those girls, right? Is what we call charisma. What is charisma? Charisma, if you take the Greek or Latin word, it means anointing. I
Interesting.
give you an example. Obama. You see, Obama's swagger. You can't
Bad.
buy it. You can't learn
Bad
it.
boy.
There's nothing you can do to get it if you're not born with it. Bill Clinton's swagger. Bill Clinton, white boy. Okay, I'll give you an example.
Bill Clinton was a bad
Oh, okay.
boy.
The confidence.
I'm trying to explain something to you, right?
Confidence.
That's right there. You cannot buy. No matter what you do, you can't buy it. You see what I'm saying? You look at Michael Jordan. I'll keep going back to Michael for a reason. Michael, for me, defines epitome of success. For me, when you ask me, do you know anybody that's successful in life? One person I will mention, his name is Michael Jordan. And that's the reason. Do you understand what I'm saying? And if you can't find the reason, you need to find it. Because if he played basketball as a child in the primary school and played it to the point that he now owns a basketball in the NBA, is he not a bad boy? It's a good bad boy.
Who didn't make his high school basketball team?
But when you are going to finish great,
Land.
so let me land now. So what I'm saying is this: badness is inborn.
Okay.
You can't learn it.
Well, I hear everything you say.
When you see, one line. When in Nigeria, we call it Fosingai.
Fosingai. Yeah.
There are guys that you are born to be. There's a born to be a guy and a Fosingai.
Well, in the context of our conversation, I get what you're saying. You know, there are some things that are talents that are inborn, that are God given. It's just like in soccer, there's Suarez. You know, this man is bad. There's some kind of talent he will display on the field. No coach can
He's
coach
bad in
it to
every
you.
angle though.
Right.
He's in every angle,
but
he will bite you back.
Right.
No, that's not all right.
So what I'm saying is, like you're mentioning Jordan, right? There's a lot of good basketball players, but some people are like on another level, like that level of anointing that you said. Good boy, bad boy. Based on this conversation, some things can be learned. Some things can be trained. Environment.
How do you learn?
Okay,
Wait a second.
Environment.
How do you learn?
Environment.
Hold up.
If you were born,
Let him finish.
let's use Lagos now, Nigeria. I don't
Yeah,
know how much you guys know about Lagos. Okay, let me bring you down to America. Let's say if you grew up in Beverly Hills, compared to a child that grew up in Inglewood. You know, there are some qualities and behaviors and characteristics that's going to be exhibited by these two people.
Chief.
Based on an environment, okay? Well,
I'll say two things.
Well, in that Beverly Hills, you can still find some bad boys.
Bad
Their
boys.
bad boys will not be compared to the bad boys.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
I'm telling you.
The baddest ones are in Beverly Hills.
Can I
because on top of their bad, they also have money bad.
To back up the
That
is a different.
Those guys are bad,
You
man.
get my point.
my
point is-
Wait. Let I still finish and then we'll go to come back to the
Go on again with your question. What was that question again, please?
Do you have to be
You
a
have to
bad
be a
boy
bad
to
to survive in this. Yeah.
To survive in this society, I don't think you have
deal with women,
to
though.
be- Well, let's
Don't involve
say
women
this.
yet.
No. Well,
That was my question.
Yeah. Based on the conversation, I think to get play to the point that you need to be a bad boy.
You need to be a bad. Okay.
Let me
Can I, before you go, I don't want you to lose what you're saying. Hold on to what you're saying. Hold on to what you're saying.
Okay.
All I wanted to say was, for me, I went through some traumatic experiences as a good guy. And when I went through those traumatic experiences as a good guy,
You learn to be a
I
bad
learned
boy.
to be a bad boy.
Let me say this.
So,
Since
everybody
we're
go
talking
ahead
about-
now.
Since we're talking about sports, right? I'm gonna use the comparison between Kobe Bryant and LeBron James.
Okay.
And you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Now, as a basketball fan,
Oh, yeah,
from day 0 to day 100, I could not stand Kobe Bryant. I couldn't stand it because I thought he was too egotistic. It was almost like he exuded too much confidence. He didn't care, right? And I love LeBron James because LeBron James was the good guy, right? And then I look in retrospect at Kobe Bryant's career and how he's respected by everyone who even hated him. And I look at LeBron James, who submitted to society's opinion and made decisions based on society. And then when he chose to make his own decision, society turned their back against him, right? Looking at Kobe's career, that's when I learned that it's important to be as bad as Kobe. Because when you look at society, as I said earlier, societies, it seems like for the last couple of years, they've been training guys to submit,
Yeah.
To be a
right?
certain way,
To
correct.
be submissive. I don't know exactly what the reason was, but they've been training guys to be submissive, right? And you look at somebody like Kobe Bryant, one thing I always reference is, I could sound ignorant right now, but I think the father has a lot to do with the badness of the son, right? Because I look at my perspective before I reconnected with my dad and my perspective after I reconnected with my dad. Totally different. Before I reconnected with my dad, I was very submissive to people's opinions. It just was, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was what it was. People had a statement and I really submitted to it until my dad said, everything that you are is who I am, regardless, you cannot change it. My perspective changed. I'm not saying I became a bad person, but I stood my ground every day after that. You know, so I think does this make sense at all?
Yeah, it's making sense.
It makes total sense. So in the light of the bad boy, do good girls love bad boys? Good girls love a guy who knows what he wants in life. Period.
Period.
Okay,
That's it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Pascal,
What I want to say
Check.
is this. Like I said from the beginning, it depends what you call badness. And it depends what you call good.
Yeah, I was gonna go there
But
next. Yeah.
before you see, okay, I give you some bad girls. The bad boys know how to dictate the bad girls.
You can't be bad past a bad boy.
So when the bad girls meet the bad boys, they back off. Because they know the bad girls like to control. So when they meet the bad boys, they back off. But you know what I found out from the society? When a good guy, the first time a good guy tests a bad girl, he's getting married.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And you know,
Yes, but you see, because the
And
bad
he thinks
girl,
it's
love.
Yin and yang.
He thinks it's love.
yeah, because
He doesn't know what life is really. He doesn't know the game.
now
Yeah.
let me say something to back what you said.
You saying he doesn't know? I want to say something real quick. You don't know the game because you're a good guy.
You're a good guy.
So being a bad guy is knowing the game.
No,
Oh, yes.
no,
Yes.
let me say it. You
I say
understand
yes.
what I said? The bad boys know the bad girls, but the rules are the same for badness.
Oh, they don't know their game.
Okay, they know, but the good guys don't know the game of the bad
Bad
guys.
girl, okay,
And
that-
most good guys,
Okay.
once they test a bad girl, once they're lucky, because the bad girl will, let me tell you what happened, I'll explain to you. The bad girls will go out there, they mingle with the bad boys, mingle with the bad boys, they find out, well, there's no heaven here. Because they can't get their way.
Yeah.
So they look for a good guy. And once they catch a good guy, they'll grab you.
Yeah,
lock.
because it's around that.
Yeah,
It's around that. Now let me ask you this, to kind of say, to back up what you said, right? I think the reason why, and I use this term bad boy because it's a cliche term, but I want guys to understand that this is how men think in general, right? The reason why a bad boy cannot really get caught by a bad girl is because after you mature to a certain age, you realize, you compare yourself, I look at the lions a lot, right? When you look at a lion and his pack and his mane, he doesn't have to do anything to exude confidence and power. He sits back and you know
Observe.
he's king in whatever avenue he's king in, right? So no matter how bad a bad girl is, right? A guy who's confident, even if he has $0, if he knows what his calling is in life,
Yeah.
the girl has to respect that because you're never really gonna budge. No matter how bad the girl is, you're always gonna sit back.
And you don't have to make noise.
You don't have to make any noise.
Yeah.
You just sit back and you always know this is what I want in life and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you can take me from 0 to 100. It's gonna stay this way regardless. And I think that's where a lot of men have been shying away from.
Yeah.
Can I
Can
say
we
something?
yes.
Can I say something one thing
Yeah.
before you go?
Okay.
Levels of badness, so you understand the difference. Jay-Z, Kanye West. Jay-Z was born to be bad. Kanye West learned.
To be bad.
Kanye West came from a good.
Okay, let me say this though. I know Jay-Z. I don't know if Jay-Z was born to be bad because this is what I'll say. You can't be bad without a heart. That's one.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Then if you look at,
I don't agree with that either.
I don't.
Hold on, can I finish?
I don't agree with that one.
Can I finish my?
That
Can I finish my
is
analysis?
too wide.
Can I finish?
Learn how to be bad.
If you watch,
He's right though.
if you watch
I don't
like
think
when,
so.
hold on, if you like when you go to the awards and you see Kanye West do some stuff to get attention, Jay-Z
That's
doesn't
not a
have
bad
to do
boy.
that.
Nah.
Jay-Z doesn't have to do that. To
But
get
okay,
attention.
let me say this though.
All Jay-Z have to do is to show up.
The problem with your analogy is that you're talking about bad as a character and bad as a behavior. Kanye West's behavior is bad. Jay-Z's character is a bad boy because it's almost like when you
hold on.
you went to school, right?
Yeah.
In school, there were the kids who just sat back in the back of the class, and even the teacher
Knew
knew
what time
not
it
to
was.
mess with those
Don't
kids, right?
Okay, before you, actually, just something to say.
That would be Jay-Z.
I said something to say.
There are some kids that have
That
to
just
get knowledge
acting fool.
so that people will recognize
Exactly.
that it's a difference.
Is a difference.
It's a difference.
No.
Right.
I think. Well, we've been.
Is that conclusion? I'm not conclusion.
No. We're gonna go to this in a minute. What I want to say is that, in a way, this topic is can go like different directions. But to keep it to the main thing, the definition of good guys and bad good girls and bad boys is we talked about confidence, ego, which is not to be construed to be arrogance. People that are very decisive in what they want, and guys that are decisive and have a focus, and they have a swagger, and they don't let society determine what they do
that's it.
based on, that's our definition. Although we've been in a lot
Of
of
course.
places, so please don't get it,
Twisted.
we're all good guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can we
can we conclude?
Yeah.
Let me
Okay.
Let me conclude.
He has it right now. He has it right now. Go ahead.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this very confidently. I think no matter how bad a girl is or how good a girl is, from my perspective, personal opinion, I think every girl wants to be a good girl, right? And I link this behavior a lot to the fathers. Majority of the time when you see a bad girl, the first question I ask is, what's your relationship with your dad, right? Because you have to play the role of protecting yourself. That's why you're bad. It could be ignorant, but this is how I connect it. When I look at a boy who's bad, right? The same question. What is your connection with your dad? Because I'll use myself as an example. When I say bad, I'm just saying confidence in what I believe, right? Before I reconnected with my dad, I cannot say I consider myself as bad as I am now. Because when I connected with my dad, he explained, this is who I am with $0 or $1 million. This is who I am. I'm a painter. I'm an artist. That is it, right? Before connecting with him, I thought you needed money to have a say as a man. After I connected with him, I realized the bad boy in me is just understanding my role in society, period.
Confidence.
Money or no money.
Money or no money. So I think every girl, this is where I see women.
Okay.
It could be crazy. I think every girl is the heart of the world. Sounds really suspect, but every girl
That's a good point, huh?
has a good girl in her and wants a guy who brings out the good girl. Does that make sense? So I think with more confident men, no matter how bad or good a girl is, I think from what I've seen, because I did career counseling and I've talked to 1 million people, women naturally want to be protected. So a good girl comes from a protected child, and a bad girl looks for that badder guy to provide the protection. Make sense?
Yeah. I think you have a point. I think one thing that we touched on, Pascal touched on it a lot, perspective. My last 2 girlfriends were very different. They were like 2 different worlds. One was a tough, hood, intelligent London chick. The other one was an American.
I love you, by the way. I love you. Yeah.
Tough, hardcore, different.
She's a great girl, man.
He knows her.
I know her, and I
Talking to her.
Yeah, he knows her personally. She's a tough London chick, smart, but just hood. But she's just very attuned to the way the life works. I was a good guy to her. Now the girlfriend after her, I was the bad guy to her in a sense. But the reason why I asked this...
Does it make sense what I said?
Yeah. In a sense, I was the bad guy to her and a lot of girls that I've met, because I'm not going to medical school, I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm taking a risk by not even doing none of the traditional Nigerian stuff that we were raised what to do. I want to be an entertainer, and that's my life, and that's what I want to do. If you don't, at this point, before it wasn't now how I feel about it now, like, if you don't like it, you can go. Before I was kind of in between.
Right.
But I was still the rebel, to her. So that's why I feel like perspective is important in this, because let's not forget that some people, to them, I'm the rebel. But if some
The
girls,
girl that you were the rebel, she comes from.
Okay.
so it kind of, we're all kind of saying the same thing, but it's all about who's looking at it and what glasses you're looking from.
True.
So yeah, go ahead.
Well, in my conclusion, I'll say that I've walked into some rooms, into some doors, and somebody came up to me and said, "You look like you're in trouble." I just laughed. I was
But
like,
they were
why,
right, though.
why,
That's the good
would,
thing
why,
about
would you say this? No,
Man, you're bald, you look like Tyrese.
This is even my. You know what? This is even my hospital work. When I work in the healthcare, I go into my shift, and this professional person just said, "You just look like a whole lot of trouble." I'm like, at first I'm like, "What are you kidding?"
Was this a woman?
This is a guy. This is a guy that said, well, one thing, I kind of know what he's talking about, because I get that a lot because of the way I walk. I walk with a swagger. That's just something
Oh no,
I have.
You went into a nursing place. You're a bald-headed black caramel guy. You know.
Well, but so like all my life, yeah. But I wasn't this confident growing up though. I'm a late bloomer. You're looking at a guy that got this virgin at a very late age. Okay, you know I'm a late bloomer in everything.
So you evolved.
I evolved, exactly. True, definitely. My confidence was not like this growing up. At first, I used to make excuses, try to make excuses for my confidence, because people construe that as arrogance, which I eventually learned it has nothing to do with arrogance. It's just the way.
Yeah.
That's just who you are.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends that have a dimple in their face. You look at them all the time, even when they're mad because of their dimple, you think they are happy. But I don't have a dimple, so even when I'm happy, if I'm not smiling, you think I'm mad.
Yeah.
But that's just my look, my aura, my persona, So I'm not gonna make any excuses. In my conclusion, I wanna say, be confident in who you are, what you do. If the girls accept you, fine. If they don't, fine. Just don't make excuses for who you are.
Exactly.
And
Cheers to that. Cheers.
That's what I'm talking about. That's amen.
A friend told me, this is a word of advice for the guys out there. A friend told me, like, as a man, this is a guy that's married, has a wife, he said, Ike, even when you have nothing going on, always give that persona like something's going on. Always project that image. Tell your wife or tell your girlfriend that you have this thing going on in town. You have to go. Even just leave the house and go and stay in the parking lot. After a couple hours, go back home. All they put on that. I'm telling you, that's my conclusion.
Okay.
Cheers.
Yes. All right. So my own conclusion is this: for every pot out there, there's a top. For every pot, if you go to the kitchen, you see pots. There's a top for each pot. So if you are not born to be bad, don't try to be bad. Just be yourself. There's a cover.
You don't want them to learn?
You cannot learn.
They can learn a little bit.
I don't know if you. I don't think I agree with that. Because when you tell your story, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why you have to construct yourself that way.
Okay. Let me say. I don't know how to explain it to you so you can understand, right?
I'm sorry to cut you off. I want one quick question. When you went from grinding and you're still grinding, doing things.
Don't go that far.
No. I want to ask. No.
He says all the time, my dad is easy.
I know.
To say what I said, your dad is there.
I know.
Then your dad is easy.
I know.
You cannot tell me that you cannot learn to be bad because immediately you have your father present.
Yeah.
You have your father as king present. Who is gonna tell you anything? Who is gonna argue against your personality?
All I'm saying is that something.
What I can say
I want to finish.
Well, Amy, I think what Pascal is saying by you cannot learn is, let's put it this way. There's not going to be anybody that can come, you can learn to be a LeBron, a Kobe, a Michael Jordan, but you can get as good, you can be as good a player to a point that you make a good living.
Okay.
People like Kobe, Michael Jordan, they are born. They are born, right?
Let me finish. No, I want to ask one. I want to ask you a quick question.
Okay.
This is a quick question. For those people, this is simple, who went from nothing to something. When they went from nothing to something, when they were nothing, girls were not trying to mess with them at all. Like that. But when they went to something, they were like, oh, shoot. Everybody want to mess with me now. Don't you think they have to change their mind frame in order to navigate the world now?
You're in Nigeria, right?
Yes.
Have you heard the saying, money misroad?
Yes.
Have you heard money misroad before?
Yeah.
Money misroad is a person that's a good guy that have run into money. Money will not change.
No, that's different. But conclude.
He's using it as an. I can be saying that.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this: be who you are, because for every human being out there, God has created someone for you. Be who you are and pray that you will run into your own.
But don't you think being who you are is what makes you bad?
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying. If you're who you are, right, there's levels of badness. That's what I was telling you, that badness has to do with charisma, we have to do with anointing. We have the Chicago Bulls when they played, right? but it was Scottie Pippen, it was Tony
Who's a
Kukoc,
bad
it
boy?
was
Luke Longley.
Hold on, it was Dennis Rodman, it was Michael Jordan, all of them, right?
Bad boys.
Dennis Rodman, and okay, this is a very good example to let you know you cannot learn to be bad. Dennis Rodman was in a team with Michael Jordan. Talent-wise, you and I know who God anointed more than the other one.
It depends.
Talent-wise.
There was no better rebounder than Dennis Rodman.
Okay, that's
he
what
knew
I'm saying.
his bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why he knew his bad, right? But Dennis had to do some extra things to get more attention.
True that.
But Michael didn't have to do extra things. All he had to do, hold on, is to play his game.
Since you mentioned that,
Yeah.
when you look at the construction of their foundation,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, father was present.
Okay.
Dennis Rodman, father was nowhere.
He didn't even know his family was.
Didn't know his family was.
But I'm coming to
Okay.
He's an orphan.
Whenever you talk about that team, what is that team called? The Chicago Bulls of the Michael Jordan era. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's badness that was born to be. That's what I mean, right? You can learn to get close, right? But I'll give you an example now. Something can happen here now. I can do something drastic without thinking about it. But somebody else might have to take time to think about it. That drastic instinct that I say I can do
Is your bad.
is my bad.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
you cannot
Interesting.
learn.
Okay, we're gonna keep going back and forth on this.
We have to conclude you
We do
guys.
have to conclude.
Yes,
That's
you
the
cannot,
conclusion.
you can't learn to do that.
Okay, now
That's what
I'm good. We're gonna keep disagreeing because you've mentioned so many people, and I'm gonna keep going back to the fact that Kobe Bean Bryant is the son of the Bean,
Yeah.
son of his father. He did not. He came into this world with his father guiding him to be bad. Russell Westbrook, bad boy, dad in his life. You look at somebody like Dwight Howard and LeBron
You guys, I
James.
think we should do a part 2 of this.
We have to do a part two.
We have to
And not
go.
only
Let's
that,
go.
we gotta do another
sorry,
part two.
MBT.
We have part two.
Yeah.
And we gotta say, should good girls marry bad boys?
Yes!
All right,
so
guys.
that's the only way
That was a good one.
Cha-cha.
All right.